What is up, Earthnoids and Spacenoids? I am just a simple new type, and in this episode, we are diving back into the one-year war in Mobile Suit Gundam, the Origin manga. Last time, Amado ran away and met Ramba Ral. In this episode... So let's get into it. The team is working on repairs on the mobile suits. We meet another White Base crew member that didn't have any appearance on the anime, Ensign Magdalena Rossi, the tech officer. All the kids are asking her questions regarding the resources they have to fix their units. 2 gun tanks are out, but Rossi wants to try to get one of the Zakus that they have captured, working with the top of one of the gun cannons. The captain calls for Omer. Sayla is being interrogated. Last time, she secretly communicated with Mr. Explodey. He'd told her the rumors of Char being Casval-Rim Daikun. Zeon replays the message to her. Omer comes in and he is interrogated. Bright tells him to answer only the questions that he is asked. EFF tries to get Omer to confess that Sayla ordered him to fire the bazooka. He says that Bright told them to shoot to kill, so he shot to kill. We get a similar conversation between Ryu and Amado. He says that he will watch as Ral takes over White Base. Ryu scoffs at him and calls him a liar. They take Sayla back to her cell. We get an offhanded comment by Midai saying that she thought that Bright would have a little bit more of a spine than that. Damn, she's sassy to Bright in the manga. When does the love come to play? Amado tells Sayla through the walls that he is certain that Char is still alive. She cries out for her brother. I believe this is the first mention of Sayla being Char's sister in the manga. All their encounters were simply hinting, but we get confirmation here. Ral and Hamon can't get any more men due to the upcoming attack on Jaburo. In the anime, Odessa happens before Jaburo. They also won't get any Doms to help them, but Ral says that he will take them down with his hands if he has to. On White Base, the boys go AWOL and Ryu chases them down. We get a similar moment where Ryu also doesn't understand what he is fighting for anymore. That is when they spot the Kui. The Kui is designed to transport infantry units into the battlefield. We will see Ral and his team use jetpacks to jump from the Kui to White Base. A variant of this can be used in space with thrusters instead of treads. It is equipped with a single 2-barrel machine gun, and that is it. Ryu and the gang head back to White Base. Amado consents that Ral is coming. He tells Sayla. Hamon is in the gallop waiting to cut off White Base. Amado begins shadowboxing and prepping for the battle. The Gallop begins firing their cannons on the ship. After they finish lobbing rounds, they will retreat while Ral in the Kui heads in. The orphans convince Bright to release Sayla and Amado from the brig. Ral's team heads into the hangar on jetpacks. Ral sends Ensign Clamp in the Zaku to continue attacking outside. They head for the bridge. It plays out similar to the anime, but this seems to be played for laughs. The Zeon soldier genuinely is concerned that he might blow up Kika. Midai handles business on the bridge while a couple of redshirts die. Amado fights with the Zeon soldier when Bright comes in and shoots him in the head point blank. Savage. He tells Amado to get in the Gundam. If anything happens to White Base, head to Jaburo, even if it is by himself. The hatch is still broke, so they jerry-rigged something to work temporarily. Ral runs into Sayla and recognizes her as Artesia. He hesitates and Ryu shoots him. He shoots Ryu back. Ral aborts the mission and tells Hamon that he hesitated in battle. We see Ral's death play out the same way that we saw in the anime. However, unlike the anime, Hamon is still in the battle now. She retreats to fight another day. White Base is able to make it to an EFF base in Lima on their way to Jaburo. Some are getting off to visit the hospital, but Ryu doesn't want to get off the ship. On the outskirts of Odessa, Makuve is observing the new dawn. Along with them are Gaia, Ortega, and Mash. They make up the Black Tri-Stars. They bring up the thought of new types to Makuve, but he doesn't believe in such things and calls it supernatural flights of fancy. Lieutenant Matilda comes to the ship and gives Amado another boner. He makes Frau Bo jealous. We get a great moment where she says, really? And then Hato just mocks her. The team takes their horny photo with the lieutenant. Then Amado goes to help Midai and the kids fix the sink. All hell breaks loose. All the children are naked and yelling, and there is water everywhere. Afterwards, he looks at his picture of Matilda and literally does a hop and a skip. They plan on heading to Cusco, which is neutral territory. They believe they should begin an operation outside of the territory, but EFF doesn't have enough resources. Matilda says to ask General Revel for more resources, and they all agree. It seems that she has a lot of pull. Also, Amado still has a boner and making everyone uncomfortable. Stop it. White Base leaves Lima and flies over the Nazca lines. Matilda and the Medea is following behind White Base when they notice a team of Dops heading their way. They begin their attack. One of the Medeas have been hit and has to return to Lima. The Dops pull back as they approach the neutral colony. It seems they are going to make it to Cusco. They make it to the city to see Zeon troops there as well. Amado looks at the Dom for the first time. In Jabril, General Revel is planning on meeting with White Base to guide them towards the Amazon base. While in the town, the team runs into a group of Zeon soldiers talking shit to the team about EFF. Hayato fights one and judo flips him. That is when Ortega comes over. The other Zeon soldiers recognize him and the others as the Black Tri-Stars. Gaia says that they will meet again on the battlefield and make their leave. The team heads back to the ship to hang out for the night. That is when they all tell Amado about the Battle of Loom, which he doesn't know too much about. Here, Jobjon talks about how it was the first big battle with mobile suits, and how it essentially drove EFF out of space. They tell him that General Revel was eventually captured by the Black Tri-Stars, who eventually made his escape. Matilda, Mirai, and Bright can't sleep. It seems that the Black Tri-Stars isn't after them. They are going to wait for them to leave tomorrow, before White Base makes its leave. Matilda mentions to Bright that EFF is going to roll out something big soon. A Fat Uncle drops down near him and Crowley. A Fat Uncle is a Zeon transport craft that can carry 140 tons and can hold several mobile suits. The two jet engines can be folded up when not in use, and like most of Zeon's atmospheric aircrafts, use thermonuclear engines to create thrust instead of using aerodynamics. It is equipped with 3 twin machine guns, and these will also be used by Zeon remnants in UC-0096. It is a Zeon soldier Tachi who provides Hamon with the Magella attack tanks. Tachi notes that Zeon is willing to send great men like Ral to die as pawns, while the Zabi family continues their squabbles. Zeon will lose this war, and he is ready to help Hamon take down White Base on a suicide mission. A bombing run begins on the outskirts of Cusco. EFF is using the Deprog. The Deprog is a heavy bomber and one of the largest bombers deployed during the 1-year war. Despite being a bomber, this unit is really fast. However, this unit is usually accompanied by the Toriatis or the Flymanta. They can have a crew of 2 pilots, a navigator, a bombardier, 3 gunners. Besides bombs, it is equipped with a laser gun and anti-air missiles. Amado goes on standby in the Gundam. White Base and the Medea team head out towards Jabril. Bright's spirits are very high now that he knows that EFF hasn't abandoned them. Meanwhile, Romeo is informed that White Base is leaving Cusco and are close to where the Black Tri-Stars are running training exercises. He blames Makuve for bringing them into the fold. The Black Tri-Stars are training using their new mobile suits when Hamon's Gallop comes rushing past them. They note that the ship is moving fast and doesn't have an ID. The Medea fleet and White Base split up. As White Base descends, the Fat Uncle comes in above them. They can't shoot it down currently, so they have to land, try to hide out. As they find a place to touch down, Sayla gets a weird sensation. That is when Hammond's team begins firing on White Base. Ryu gets out of the medbay. Sun Malo, the medic, tries to get him to rest, but Ryu threatens to make him a patient if he doesn't get out of the way. He lies to Omer and takes out the core fighter. Kai heads out in the new makeshift Cannon Zaku Frankenstein. He is able to take out some Magella attack tanks, but he is no match for a Zaku 1. Danny and Hayato in the gun tank comes in and takes out the Zaku, killing Tachi. Amado launches to find the Gallop, heading directly on a ramming course for White Base. All the mobile suits try to stop it. As they stop the Gallop, Hammond comes in with the Magella top and begins taking out the mobile suits. She points her cannon at the back of the Gundam and blames Amado for Rao's death. That is when Ryu comes in and kamikazes with Hamon. In the anime, Amado and the Gundam stop the Gallop, but here it is a team effort. Amado wonders who was in the core fighter, and Sayla tells him it was Ryu. The team mourns the death of Ryu. Both Sun Malo and Omer blame themselves as they had the opportunity to stop him, but Bright blames himself for being a bad commander. Unlike the show, which treats this as a somber moment and kind of a moment that brings the crew together, this is the moment that tears them further apart. Amado begins fighting with Hayato, and the children begin crying. Since White Base didn't reach the checkpoint, Matilda comes looking for them. She says to get the ship up and running, and Bright says it'll be up by dawn. Matilda tells them that they probably have 1 hour before Zeon finds them. While scouting, Amado and Jobjon notices something moving. They're suddenly attacked. It is the Black Tri-Stars. One of the Doms takes out Jobjon's gun cannon legs. Hayato and Danny in the gun tank rush in, but are destroyed instantly. They are able to eject. Amado is on the defensive. He runs away as the Doms chase. Like in the anime, the 4 engage in battle and Amado is able to kill MASH. That is when Matilda's Medea comes in and shoves Ortega off the cliff. He smashes the Medea and kills Lieutenant Matilda in the process. The Black Tri-Stars have become the Black Duo Stars. White Base finally takes off. Everyone salutes and gives a moment of silence for Lieutenant Matilda. Amado cries for her. He will never have a boner again. And that will do it for this episode. On our way to Jaburo, we get to see some locations and some moments that are able to breathe a little bit more in the manga. However, the manga does seem to make Ramba Ral come off as a washed out soldier, more so than in the anime. Hamon has a line about Zeon turning great men into pawns, and it is a great approach and ultimately better storytelling. But it is Ramba Ral we're talking about, and seeing one of the greatest Gundam characters somewhat neutered can be a little frustrating. Next time, the team will finally make its way to Jaburo, and we will see the return of the Red Comet and the Mad Angler team. But that will do it for now, new types. Remember to keep your boner in check when you are around your commanding officer. Peace.